What if a monster is already living in your home? Not in the forest, not in the basement, right now, in the next room. Tonight, 5 mythical creatures people believed could live inside their house. And one of them doesn't hide. It pretends to be you. If you see it, it's already too late. The word doppelganger literally means double walker. Not a reflection, not a hallucination. It's a second version of you, walking the same paths, speaking the same words, sleeping under the same roof. Important fact. In ancient Germanic and Scandinavian folklore, meeting your double didn't mean danger. It meant inevitability. In their true form, doppelgangers are described as skinless humanoids, with clearly visible muscles, tendons, and internal organs. However, seeing a doppelganger in its true appearance was believed to be possible only when the creature was near death. It was believed that you would die within days or weeks, slowly lose your identity, fade while the double remained. There were no stories of survival, only replacement. How it lives in the house. A doppelganger doesn't break in, it belongs. It studies, you sit when you're tired, how you speak when you're nervous, you're alone. Old journals described people hearing their own coughing in another room, relatives swearing they had already spoken to you, objects being moved correctly, not randomly. That mattered. Because chaos is coincidence. Order is intention. Science explains everything. Fear doesn't. The Night Witch appears in dozens of cultures. Scandinavia, Eastern Europe, the British Isles. Different names, the same terror. Imagine waking up at night, unable to move, your eyes fixed on the corner of the bedroom, and there stands the thing you were most afraid to ever see. The creature looks like an emaciated body, fingers like spider legs, empty, watching eyes, weightless yet crushing heaviness. She sits on your chest. You can't scream, you can't move, you can't breathe. Terrifying fact. Before medicine, people believed if the witch returned, she fed. Not on blood, on life force. Victims, weakened rapidly, lost appetite, became paranoid, sometimes died in their sleep. Doors were locked, prayers were read, knives were placed under pillows. Nothing helped, because you can't lock out what's already inside. Ignoring signs has never ended well. Folklore says these beings appear when warnings are ignored. If you're still watching, don't ignore this. Subscribe. Old houses were never quiet. They listened. Black Annis comes from medieval England. She wasn't a ghost. She was physical. Detailed description. Bluish-black leathery skin, iron claws curved like hooks, long arms reaching through cracks, sharp, jagged teeth. She wore human skin as clothing. Terrifying belief. Black Annis didn't abduct randomly. She chose. Quiet children, curious children, those who stayed awake at night. In some villages, houses were abandoned not because of plague, but because children refused to sleep inside them. It looks like what you fear most. Originally, the boogeyman wasn't for children. He was for adults who knew too much. You step into the shower and suddenly feel someone watching you. And let me say this right away. It's not your cat. You open your eyes and realize what was watching you. He usually has no form. That's the point. He becomes the image that terrifies you the most and lives deep inside your mind. This time, it appeared as a gaunt figure with glowing white eyes, wearing a black robe, with a horrifying elongated face and long limbs, after which I lost consciousness. Terrifying fact, it was believed that it appears only when you feel safe, avoids witnesses, leaves no traces. That's why no one believes you. If your house feels alive at night, it is. You think you own your home. Slavic folklore says you're wrong. The domovoi isn't a guest. It's the original resident. You moved in. It never left. What people said they saw. Something small crossed the hallway. Descriptions were almost identical. Child-sized figure, body covered in dark hair, old, distorted face, eyes reflecting light, movements too quiet to track. Sometimes it looked like a family member. That meant someone wouldn't stay long. Signs it's in your house. The domovoi doesn't rush. It observes. People feared these signs. Footsteps when no one walks. Objects moved neatly, not randomly. The feeling of being watched from corners. Waking up because something is standing near your bed. If you feel watched at home, folklore says it's already late. People didn't fight it. They acknowledged it. Ignoring the domovoi was the worst insult, because if the house decides you don't belong, it doesn't attack. It waits. These beings didn't disappear. Only the explanations changed. Stress, sleep paralysis, imagination. But the fear stayed the same. Write in the comments which one of them you would never want to see in your home. Because the scariest thing about a house is that it already knows you.